What's up, everyone? Welcome to night number 2 of the Grand Annual Sprint Car Classic for 2024. This is what you missed. Before we get into it, though, I wanted to show you a bit of the racetrack, and backed by popular demand, a lot of you guys have been asking for it, is the screwdriver. This is not our screwdriver. This is the track's, and they've trusted me with it. So just quickly, I wanted to show you, for everyone who thinks that this track is just the same as any old clay and gets super hard, it's not really that way at all. Now, hopefully I don't make an idiot of myself because I've already tested this out, but this looks pretty hard. But if we can draw an X on the ground, you can see it's just kind of like a top layer. Now, if you watch this, I can try and push this in the ground. Look how soft this track is. Wow. Okay, that's gone a lot further than I thought it would. Oh my God. Almost need to put the microphone down. It's deep. It's soft, right? Like looks like that's been shoved in dirt, right? But yeah, it's not soft. So what I'm getting at before we carry on too much is that I've spoken to the track curation team, and they're actually quite happy with the track. If they wanted the track to last longer, they would use the harrower, I think Power Harrow, and really mix it up, and that can last a whole couple of rounds of heats. If not, they use just the Scarifier and just give it a quick tickle. That's what they call it. And so they feel like they have a couple of options. I don't think there's as many laps tomorrow night. We used to have another round of heats on the final night of the Classic, but we just have mains and the scrambles. Obviously some hot laps, things like that. So other than that, let's get into what you missed. Night 2 wasn't any easier in terms of competition. Jordan Charge built a new car. Ziafos had a Danny Lazowski tribute car. There was Williamson, Luke Dillon, James Inglis, Ryan Newton, who had a new paint scheme and a new car. McHugh was in a different chassis after wrecking at Mount Gambier. There was Justin Peck, and McFadden built a new car because he wasn't happy with his old one. Goodyear also had a new car along with Morosky. There was Marcus Dumsney, Jai Corbett, and of course Sheldon Hordenshield and Carson Macedo, just to name a few. Hickman had problems in hot laps when his airbox collapsed onto the injection. The only other thing that stood out in hot laps to me was that Jock looked so good straight away, 3/10 quicker than anyone. In qualifying, the track was a lot slower than last night to start with, but got quicker as it got wider and closer to the wall. A few drivers got into the wall, including Williamson, who took quick time in Flight 1. Again, that was 3/10 slower than Night 1 quick time. Surprisingly, Macedo wasn't very fast. He told me he ran the bottom and shouldn't have. A shame, because points are so important with this format. And of course, it was Jock Goodyear who was fastest in Flight 2 with a 10.9 second lap. My God, he looks so good in the corners. Danny Lasowski watched on as there was major track work after qualifying. Ziafos stole the win from Williamson, whilst Macedo could only manage 6 in Heat 1. Kai Jensen did some major rear end damage in Heat 2. I've never seen a rear end like that. Ashley Cook also tore up. The biggest shit fight from that one was when Sheldon was relegated 2 spots for passing before the cone on a restart. He tried pleading his case with the race officials, but nothing came of it. Tim Hutchins sustained major chassis damage in Heat 3. Jai Corbett wrecked in that one too, but his car seemed okay. It wasn't long and everyone realised there was going to be a lot of torn up stuff tonight. Jesse Addard led most of Heat 4 before reading the lap car of Dane Court wrong, losing momentum and 2 spots to McFadden and then McHugh. He then took his frustration out on Dane Court by throwing his steering wheel at Court's car twice before going to the trailer. We didn't see him again, but heard he got a $500 fine and 3 months suspension. Then we got into the inverted heats where we started to see more of a competitive track, where cars could really move around. Matt Reed cracked the K-rail on his chassis while Callum Williamson drove to P5. Ziafos could only manage 8th from 10th in his heat. Heat 7 was definitely the toughest heat of the night, with McHugh, Goodyear, Marcus, Ryan Newton and Jai Corbett all in it. And to wrap up the heats, McFadden became the only driver to go from P10 to the win in Heat 8. That also meant he won both of his heats. Craig Vanderstel also wrecked in that one. I caught up with James after the heats and also caught up with Dane Court to hear his view on the Addard incident.
You're the only one to go 10-1 in your heat. Must feel good?
Yeah, mate. Takes a lot off your shoulders right there. You know, now we can kind of cruise in this feature race. You know, it's not a do or die thing. You know, if we run in the top sort of 10, we're still pretty solid for tomorrow. So, yeah, definitely a relief. Just get through this unscathed would be really nice. It's pretty treacherous up on the top there. It's going to catch some people out. So make some changes tonight, you know, to work on maybe what we can do for tomorrow night's car. We're close, but just not close enough yet.
10 to 1. New car though. Why?
I just honestly, mate, we had a crash here first night out with the other car, and I just haven't felt good in it. Honestly, you know, every change that we normally do hasn't been sort of working, and you know, then we'll throw in big things at it that should have changed, and I never felt a lot of difference with it. And you know, we throw this car and went as vanilla as you can with the 4 bars and a turn of right rear weight, and away we went, and I felt instantly good, and every change we've done you know, has made a difference. So yeah, it was one of those things you didn't want to come to the Classic and go, man, I should have put a car together when we had it sitting there. We just did it and pulled the trigger on it, and so far it's pretty good.
What's different about it?
Nothing at all. It's an identical car to what we had. And like I said, I had a big crash in that other one, and I don't know if it just tweaked it a little bit. Who knows? But you know what it's like. If getting a new car out gives myself and the crew a little bit more confidence, and then we do it.
From our angle, it wasn't really an incident. I think we had a punched-in wing and rolled in the bottom, and we didn't know what was going on behind us. And I think he got held up, and and obviously stuck it in the fence himself. So,
And
know what it is.
when you saw someone walking out on the track with a steering wheel?
I was like, mate, you got the wrong bloke. I have no idea what you're doing.
Yeah.
So, he's probably a little bit hot-head. So,
Yeah. But you haven't heard from Jesse or anyone?
nah,
afterwards?
I think he's sitting in the trailer.
I thought we may see some track work prior to the feature, but I'm glad we didn't. Jock Goodyear had a massive wreck on lap 1, which sucked to see because he was the favourite. Callum Williamson took a soft rollover at the same time, and Pesca and Daly were out too. The track was definitely top dominant like night 1, and Sheldon got to second very early on. Jordan Brazier pulled in once he began to be lapped. I could be wrong, but I think the Braziers have always pulled in out of respect if getting lapped. Marcus had to pull in with a torn up right rear. He drove around whilst waiting for the mechanical defect flag, or meatball flag as it is more commonly known, but never got it. Eventually, the officials told him over the radio to pull in. In the end, it was Sheldon who got by J-Mac to win. I spoke to Sheldon straight afterwards.
Hey buddy, that was the most comfortable you've looked the whole time you're in.
Yeah, for sure. We've been making small gains every time we hit the track, and that's what you got to do here. And just, like I said, finish these races off too. And, you know, I knew I just had to get past that first 5 laps and kind of get a feel for my car. And, yeah, once I got to James, and, you know, I kind of saw James wasn't really that good. And, yeah, I just kind of followed him in lap traffic. It's hectic here with lappers, man. We both about stuffed it in 3 and 4. And, yeah, just kind of being cool and seeing what we got.
And whilst Rico helped repair Goodyear's car and others did late night car maintenance, I went next door to speak with Callum Williamson to hear his take on his lap 1 crash.
Yeah, just on the start there, I think we got into turn 1 and 2, and there's a few cars out on the outside, up in the marbles there, and I got a good run on the bottom, and going down the back straight there was going to make a run to the bottom coming into 3, and there's another driver on my right outside, and he just obviously he wanted the bottom before me, and came across my front end and sort of spun me out, and I flipped over and done some damage to the top wing. So after that, we I was thinking, well, you know, if I can stay out there and sort of roll around, you know, maybe obviously not past cars, but if cars drop out, I'm going to gain more points. And that's what happened. Four cars dropped out. They got, I don't know how many points that is, but it's, you know, good enough to maybe still have a chance for tomorrow in a B. But yeah, it's nothing to worry about. It's just one of those deals, you know. You can't have luck always on your side.
There's some race going on over here, and they're coming out of turn number 2. No, I'm not going to commentate. I don't call races, by the way. I don't know if you guys have realised that. That is not something that I should do or want to do. But yeah, that is what you missed. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. It's going to be night number 3, the finale tomorrow night. We've got a big video coming up for that, so hopefully you guys enjoyed that. If you haven't already, we had a big day today selling merchandise at the Fan Day, for the Fan Appreciation Day. It was huge. We were in between Rico and James McFadden. That was very, very successful for everyone. I think they were happy to be parked next to us because we brought them a lot of customers. No, the other way around. But yeah, if you haven't already, check out springerhub.com and grab your merchandise. It does support us and keeps us doing this. Until then, we'll see you for night number 3.